Hey guys, Prepper Nurse 1 here. I wanted to do a little fireside chat here with you guys today, um, and kind of go over some things with a video that I did yesterday and a few of the responses to it. I have a sick daughter here next to me. She's been throwing up. I don't know what she got, whatever bugs going around, so she's stayed home today, so she's not feeling so well. Today is the 30th of January. It's a Monday. Actually, we had some sunshine outside today, and so it was actually not bad at all. It was actually a very decent day as far as that goes. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. So, okay, so I wanted to talk about one of the things that I had said in the video yesterday, and like some of the replies to that and stuff like that. And so, anyway, one of the comments that I had made, somebody had asked me in a previous video, what would you do if they sent like 10 children in to raid your garden after an S.H.T.F situation happened? You wouldn't shoot children, would you? And I said in yesterday's video that yes, I would shoot children. And Joe from St. Bernard Acres, I'll just use him as an example, had said that he totally disagreed with that and da 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 da. Now, here's the sad reality that we're going to talk about, and it's like, I think some people really need to have a reality check. If it is an SHTF situation, and I'm talking like, a global catastrophe that affects everybody, okay, and you have a garden, and people come into your garden and try to steal your stuff, that's how you're going to survive. You are going to do whatever you have to do to protect that food. If you don't, then you probably will die. So that's the reality check that I want to give to you guys, okay? That, yeah, if we ever get to that point, and I'm not saying, that it's definitely going to happen. I don't know. I don't speculate on those things. All I do is prep and hope for the best, okay? But we need to really, as human beings, think about a few things, okay? Let's talk about how evil we are to each other right now with rule of law, okay? With rule of law, we are horrific to each other. Human beings, we're brutal to each other. Now, do you think with no rule of law in an SHTF situation that that's going to get better or it's going to get worse? Do you think everybody's going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya? You are in a freaking fantasy world if you think that that's how it's going to be. It's going to be survival of the fittest. So my thing would be to you, Joe, if you feel that it would be okay for them to come and steal your food, then you're probably going to die. And I'm not picking on Joe, I'm just using that as an example. You're going to do what you're going to have to do. We're going to have to do things as human beings that we never thought that we would have to do. We're going to have to do things that we never even wanted to contemplate in our minds that we would have to do. But unfortunately, the reality is we're going to have to do things, if that happens, okay, that we never even thought about before. So that's a real sad reality of it. And like I said, I want to know what your guys' thoughts on that are. It's easy to say, oh, I would do this or I would do that while we sit around fat and with a full belly. Okay, I'm overweight. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know I'm overweight. And most people in our society are way overweight. So it's easy to say what you would do and what you wouldn't do now while we have a full belly and we can just run down to the local fast food joint or the local grocery store and get whatever we want. But when those things are not there and you are going meal to meal and hand to mouth to get food, and you're going to do whatever you need to do to get food, okay? That's the reality of it. And a lot of people can't grasp that, and they can't think about that, or they don't want to think about that. Now, here's the other thing. Will a lot of people opt out? Absolutely. Now, what do I mean by opt out? A lot of people will choose death over having to live in a reality that is so horrific that they can't deal with it. Okay, that's the reality of that. There's going to a lot of people that are going to go ahead and overdose, either be it on pills or shoot themselves or hang themselves or whatever they're going to have to, or whatever they feel like they need to do. Okay, now, me, I'm stubborn. I'm bullheaded. and I have a determination that is very, very strong. We have it in my family, and that's just the way that we always have been. So I plan on being here. I don't plan on going anywhere. But you're going to need to wrap your brain around the possibility of having to do some pretty awful things to survive. Now, I talked about, trying to find a group, and a lot of people did say that, they really don't know anybody that they can trust and all this type of thing. I'm telling you right now, I truly believe that in an S.H.T.F, if you are trying to do this solo, you will not make it. Okay? Or if it's just, 3 or 4 or 5 family members, you're not going to make it. Now, you may make it for a good long time, but when a band of 20 or 30 armed men come to take your stuff, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to stop them. That's the reality of it, okay? Now, a lot of people did say in the video, to a couple of comments where, you're putting yourself out there as a target, because people are going to know where you're at. Well, obviously I don't give out my address, and, as far as that goes, but I am putting myself out here, and I am doing it because I am trying to educate people, I'm trying to help people, and try to wake people up so that they realize that they need to be more self-reliant on themselves to prep, to give yourself a chance. That's all prepping really is just trying to get an advantage over everybody else. Now, basically, according to, the Red Cross and everything else, and FEMA, 95% I think it is of people do not have a 2-week supply of food and water. So if you have just that, just a 2-week supply of food and water, now obviously you could ration that out and make it last for 4 weeks if you had to, okay? As far as the food part of it goes, not the water. But, the reality is that if you have any kind of advantage over anybody else, it's going to give you a better chance to survive. I truly believe that the best way to deal with the situation, if a worst case scenario happens, if a S.H.T.F situation happens, my plan is to lay low. And, my people will come to me that are going to come to me, and we will deal with whatever threats that we have to deal with at that point, okay? You start shooting somebody or shooting at somebody, it is a reality check. Trust me. If they think that they can steamroll you and just come in and take your stuff, that's exactly what they're going to do. But you start, shooting a few of them, it's going to give them a whole different perspective on how to look at stuff. They're going to go on down a road and look for easier pickings than somebody that's in an armed group that's willing to defend what they have. Okay, so, it's like, I don't mean to sound negative or heartless when I say these things. I'm just trying to be realistic. And, I try to be a compassionate person, and I try to look at things that way. But unfortunately, I've also been around this world long enough, and I see the evil of mankind, and I know how people are, and I realize what we're going to have to do to survive, okay? And again, like I said, a lot of people are not going to be willing to do what they have to do to survive, okay? In their mind, they just can't handle it, okay? That's the sad reality. So a lot of people will die right in the beginning. I mean, a lot of people will die in the beginning just for violence and whatever else like that. Now, somebody had mentioned the fact that, gangs would thrive in the beginning of S.H.T.F. And I agree 100% because they already have a hierarchy. They have a group in place. They, are basically a brotherhood, and they're going to work together, okay? And they're going to do whatever they want to do. With no rule of law, they're going to do whatever they want to do. So, that being said, and so again, and I had talked about the militia groups that are out there. And there's some crackpot groups and there's some really good organized groups as well. And I didn't mean to sound like it was only white people that were in groups for prepping. Okay, it's not, and I realize that there's other groups that are getting ready as well. And I believe that when something bad happens, the inner cities will be taken over by a very rough group of people, and they're going to prey on anybody that they can. And then once they've used up all the resources and supplies, they're going to branch out. So that's why people need to work together, get together, and be ready. So I just wanted to go over some of these things again with you guys. But like I said again, if you don't think, or you don't think that you're capable of doing what is necessary to survive, you really need to rethink that, okay? Because the will to live is very, very strong, and we, as human beings, we really want to live. So again, like I said, do a test, and I challenge you guys to this. Anybody that is willing to do this test, let me know. Don't eat for 3 days, and see how you feel after 3 days. Now think about times that by 2 weeks with very little food for 2 weeks, how desperate you would be to do whatever was necessary to get food and eat. Okay? That's what people need to think about. That's the reality of it. Without food, you got 6 weeks. Your body will sustain you and you can live for 6 weeks. But you would be weakened, you'd be in really rough shape. But like I said again, I challenge you guys to do that. Give me 3 days. Don't eat for 3 days. And if anybody's willing to do that, let me know. Because you will be very surprised to find out what that's like. Okay? So anyway, guys, listen. Just wanted to put this video out here. Please let me know what your thoughts are. Please like, comment, share. I appreciate it. I appreciate you listening. And like I said, I'm not doing this to scare anybody. I'm not doing this to, I'm a tough guy and I'm willing to do what's necessary. But I'm a realist. And I believe that when things go bad, we're going to have to do things that we never thought we would ever do. And I am in a mindset of I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep my children alive. That's my mindset. So if you don't have that same mindset for your children and your family, then there's something wrong. Okay? So anyway, guys, listen. Remember, hug and kiss the ones you love, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Very, very important. And remember, guys, it's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever your goals are, you can reach them if you push forward. I urge people to prep. I urge people to get ready for whatever. I don't proclaim to know what's going to happen. No idea, okay? But it's better to be prepared and not need it than need it and not have it, okay? So have a great day, guys. I will talk to you later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.